Coming in at 8 minutes after 9 o'clock into the final hour of Kenya's biggest conversation this morning, coming off a quite steamy one this morning, and keeping abreast of these issues necessary for us to continue to have these conversations no matter what. And our live streams are still up on Facebook, on YouTube, and on X. And we get into another conversation this morning. And just as we tell you what that is, CT, magic.
Well, magic comes in many forms. Magic that is in the realm of the unseen, and magic in the realm of something you can witness and you can also experience. That actually is what the World Credit MasterCard by I&M Bank does. It allows you to spend while earning points as you spend. The points you earn are called Milele points, meaning they go on and on and on and on and on. Now, the way you register for this card is you go to the I&M on the go platform. Now, this platform will enable you to register. Should you be the 20th individual who is registering, you then have an opportunity. Let me just pause there. 1 Milele point equals 1 shilling. Now, I'll continue where I left off. Should you be the 20th individual to register, you stand a chance of winning 50,000 Milele points. 50,000 Milele points is equal to 50,000 Kenya shillings, which you can spend. And spend it on what? Well, spend it on what you normally spend money on. Whether you want to shop, whether you want to fuel a vehicle if you have one, whether you want to buy a ticket to fly with, etc., etc. Yes.
Fantastic stuff. And we're getting into a conversation this hour where in the initials things seemed rosy. They seemed like they were going to make a lot of sense, and then after that they didn't. And representing a conversation, unfortunately a situation that many people in the country find themselves in today. Joining us for that conversation today is Maureen Kamau, and she's been the victim of quite a number of things. But before we get into that, we're just going to tell you, Maureen, good morning and welcome to the Situation Room.
Thank you so much.
You're in the hot seat of the Situation Room today and dealing with something that, like we said, is not very pretty, but we're going to get into that for the purposes of sharing information, for finding reprieve, and also hoping that nobody else gets stuck in such a situation again. And that's why we have the conversations that we do in the Situation Room. But we'll get to that in just a minute. CT goes around Africa every week. He comes back from a different African country with a week full of proverbs. He's going to share the proverb, and we would like you, as you get into the seat, to tell us what you think of the proverb and how you would interpret it. Is that all right?
Okay.
All right.
Yes, we are in the Republic of Zimbabwe, one of the richest countries on the planet. And yet, because of what I will refer to as the curse of the African continent, has not been able to realize that potential to the benefit of its citizenry. We will be looking into the details of this particular country, its origins, its greatness, the diminishing aspects of it, and so forth. The proverb: until the lion tells his side of the story will always glorify the hunter.
What do you think?
There is more to what you see and what you perceive than what it is on the ground.
You have put it beautifully. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Yes.
Well done on that. So, there's been a lot that's been happening to you, and we're not going to preempt that. We want you to tell us essentially what's happened. We know that there have been a number of things, been moved from Kenya to another country in search of a job, and then even while there, it became a different story. And this represents the same situation that many a Kenyan find themselves in the current times which we deal with. Last week, we saw a number of people who'd been brought back from Myanmar, and we saw the second airlift of those individuals coming back, where they had been promised jobs and they went there and they entered into, number one, a human trafficking ring, number two, then one which was essentially scamming people across the world, and then being tortured and beaten if they refused to do the work. That sets the stage for what we're talking about this morning, Maureen. And we'd like to hear from you what situation you found yourself in and how this all started.
I I did not go to Myanmar, the country where the 78 were rescued last week. I was in Laos.
Okay.
But the same thing, we are all hunting for greener pastures from here. So the agent does not clarify to you what is in the ground, what you find there.
Okay.
But it's a different story because here you go with a different slot of work. But when you get there, you're directed to different people. You don't have a choice. You pick what you get and you have to do it.
How did you start? Let's start from here. You were in Kenya. What made you think that, okay, I want to maybe look for a job elsewhere? How did you start that journey?
I had a referral from a friend who is currently in Dubai. So they directed me to an agency here in Kenya. So upon inquiry, there was a slot for the Thailand work. And the visas were not taking long to get them. And for me, I was going as a salesperson. And the pay was quite well compared to what I was earning here.
Okay.
So there was no objection for me to say no. So I accepted and we started the journey of now, the process of you paying the money to the agency. Then you secure a chance to go to the Thailand embassy. Then you get the visa.
Okay.
So from there, you are scheduled to when you will be traveling. And the job criteria still remains you're going as a salesperson. So there was nothing cliche or something you could have doubted. It's not it.
Okay.
But the thing is, we were not given any offer letter to sign here or any contract that is going to show you this is what you're going to get.
Okay.
It's just a word of mouth from the agency.
Okay.
Yes.
So you got the referral.
Yes.
You presented yourself to the agency.
Yes.
It was for you were told there is a sales and marketing job
Yes.
available in
Thailand.
How much were you asked to pay, and essentially what were you paying for?
I was asked to pay 200,000 Kenyan shillings.
Okay.
So this was to cater for the visa and my travel expense and a 3-day hotel. That
On the
was
other
it.
side.
Yes,
so
on the other side.
you were paying for a visa, you paid for an air ticket, and then you paid for 3 days accommodation
Yes.
when you got there.
Exactly.
All right. So upon paying this 200,000 shillings, you paid it here in Kenya. What was the wait time between paying the 200,000 and when you were called to come get your visa, for example?
After payment, we stayed for 1 month before traveling because it was like we were going in a company. So the company had to give a directive on when we should arrive. But upon getting my visa, I stayed for like 3 days before I went.
Okay.
Yes.
Did you get a contract from?
No.
The agency did not give you a contract
No.
saying that you were going to Thailand, person X, Maureen Kamau, going to Thailand to work with this organization under this job, has paid this amount, and this is what she would get. No contract.
No contract.
You didn't sign anything.
We didn't sign anything.
Do you remember the individual that you spoke with?
The agency?
The agents at the individual at the agency that essentially told you this, or was it
Yes.
an email, or was it a face-to-face? What was it?
It was a face-to-face. Yeah. The agency is still here. It's still operating.
Okay.
Yes.
All
So,
right.
by the time you were traveling, because now you mentioned about a referral, there is the agent involved, there is work involved. At any point, was there some form of interview because you're going for a job with those who would be your employers? Or it was a question of you go to Laos and you'll find your employer there?
We were to find our employer there in Thailand.
So basically, you're traveling blind.
Yeah. So basically, if you know how to communicate, you've done sales before, you didn't feel it's something like it's a big deal.
Okay.
It's something you're used to.
So you didn't know the company that you were going for. You
No.
were going to Thailand to work in Bangkok Marketing Agency, for example. You didn't know the name of this organization, didn't
No.
have any idea who a supervisor would be, nothing.
Nothing.
So you took the word of the agent here in Nairobi.
Exactly.
Okay. So let's get on the plane. We did. After a month, right?
Yeah.
You then were told your visa is ready, come. Or that you got your passport, you got your air ticket, you were ready to go.
So we were not given our air ticket individually.
Okay.
So we were scheduled on a specific day that you were supposed to travel. Then you bring yourself to the airport. Other documentation are going to be handed over there.
Okay.
So upon arriving at the airport, there is an inclusive of 1,000 USD in the Ethiopian airline that you should be having. So we didn't know that because we found ourselves, we were 5 of us. We met at one spot. So we were told you needed to have 1,000 USD and it's a requirement.
This is separate from the 200,000 shillings you
Yeah,
had paid?
it's separate.
Okay.
So we told our agency, because we had different agencies, the 5 of us. So we told the agency and we were told it's okay because we had already arrived late for the checking point time, because you have to wait for the others. Some didn't have the yellow fever vaccine, so they had to be brought up to here. So we had to wait for everyone. So we had now the issue of 1,000 USD that we didn't have.
Where exactly were you waiting?
In the airport.
Why, JK?
JKIA. Yeah. So
You haven't received your tickets yet,
we haven't received the ticket yet.
but you are at JKA.
Yes.
What time was this?
It was in midday. I can't
Midday.
remember the exact time.
Please continue.
So we had now to wait. We told them we didn't know about that requirement. So
Who was demanding the 100K? The agent?
The $1,000.
$1,000
Yes.
is a requirement in the Ethiopian airline
Okay,
for
okay.
anyone traveling to Thailand.
Okay.
So we didn't have it. So
Were you told what the $1,000 was for?
no, it was just like a rule
A
for
rule.
everyone.
airline.
Yeah, the
So-
airline, the Ethiopian airline.
So let's do this slowly. So you, of course, you get to the airport, you get to check in.
Yeah.
So you've checked in your luggage.
Yes.
You're now past. You're now going to the counter where you're presenting yourself for travel.
Yes.
You also mentioned you did not have an individual ticket.
Yes.
This was one document maybe at the desk that had everybody on it.
Exactly.
So at the ticket counter, essentially, is when you were told, we've seen you had your passport.
Yes, we had our passports.
So they look through your passport and then they're asking you, where is your $1,000 that is required for you to travel?
Exactly.
Okay, so they know it's a rule if you're traveling to Thailand.
Yeah.
That you should have this $1,000.
Yes.
All right.
So we didn't have it. So we had to communicate back to the agents.
Okay.
Upon telling them, they told us, since it's already the time for travel is already past, you cannot board the flight at this moment.
Did they know about this $1,000 when you said these guys are saying we need $1,000? Did they seem to know that you needed to have it?
My agent did seem to know because he said, let me confirm with the rest.
Okay.
So we had now to leave
The airport.
the airport
Okay.
because we couldn't travel on that day. So we were given some accommodation here in Kenya, the 5 of us. So we waited for 3 days and everyone now was given money. So this money was from the company that we were going to work with. And this money, we were supposed to submit it back to them immediately we arrived.
How much money were you given?
They are 1,000 USD.
You were given the 1,000
Yes.
USD. It was supposed to have now come from the other company.
Yes.
Which previously you mentioned you didn't know who this company
we
was.
don't know the company.
All right.
So we were given the money. We went past now the checkpoint and everything was okay. We were now given our tickets. So on the ticket you have your seat, you have your luggage, and now you have now another transit airline alongside now the ticket that we had, because we knew we were landing in Bangkok.
Yes.
So we knew that's the final spot. But after Bangkok, you can say there's another flight to Chiang Rai. So that one, you've already found it in the airport. Yeah, we've already sat down. We ask ourselves,
What
where
is
is this? This is not where we know we are going. And you don't have time to call back the agency.
Because you're boarding the flight.
You're already in the flight. You're in your seat now. That's when you're perusing through to see if I have everything all together. So what do? You have to wait. When we arrived in Bangkok, we had now to text back the agency.
You mentioned
We
you
can
were
say-
flying. I'm sorry. You mentioned you were flying Ethiopian. That means you went to Addis.
Yeah,
Yes,
we went-
from
yeah, we went
Nairobi,
to-
and then you now took another flight from Addis
to Bangkok.
to Bangkok. Okay,
Yes.
go ahead.
So on arriving in Bangkok, we now try to communicate back to the agency. We ask them, we can see there's another flight that you're supposed to board. Where are we going? So I remember my agency told me, this is just a Thailand. It's just an island in Thailand where you'll be working. So don't panic. The 5 of us, we were 5. We were 3 ladies and 2 gents. Nobody had an idea exactly of where this place is. So when you Google it, you just see it's an island. So whatever the agency told you didn't lie, because you've already seen it's a small island.
So the agency knew.
Seems like they already knew the whole plan. So in Bangkok, we had another person in the picture who was giving us now directions on where to go, where to find the now airline.
They met you at the airport?
No, just on the some instructions on WhatsApp.
Oh, they were sending you messages?
Yeah.
Okay.
So we had to find our way, then we waited. The directions were given to us were like, you have to board this flight, you'll be there in an hour's time around that area. But in Bangkok, we spent so many hours, like 5 hours before we boarded the other flight. So we had a meal, and the meal was catered for by the company. Yes.
So let me ask the question. You've mentioned the $1,000
$1,000,
yeah. Now the 1,000. By the time you are submitting your documents to the embassy here for you to get the visa, what are some of the requirements? And at that point, the $1,000 never came up as part of the requirements.
I didn't apply myself.
It's the agency.
It's the agency. So you're only submitting yourself physically.
Okay, so 5 hours in the airport, waiting. Then you leave to this island.
Yes.
Okay, you get onto the island.
We get on a.
How did you travel to the island?
They flew, I guess.
Yeah,
There was
we
a
flew
flight.
in a
There was a
flight.
flight.
Yeah, there was a flight.
Who paid for this flight?
The same people.
Same people.
You had the
Yes.
boarding pass.
We had the
for this
boarding
flight
pass.
in Addis Ababa.
Yes.
Right. Okay.
Okay.
So we had another flight now to Chiang Rai. Upon arrival, we were received by Chinese nationalities. They already had. Oh, sorry, I didn't mention this. When we were in every airport, we had to take a picture. We have arrived safely.
Sending to whom? The same
To
person on WhatsApp?
Yes,
Okay.
the same person on WhatsApp.
And that person was your agent?
No.
Not our agent.
That
We were
couldn't have
just
been
in
handed
one.
over.
Oh, sorry. We were in one group, the 5 of us, and there was an admin. So we were sending pictures
It
to
was a
that.
chat forum just for the 5 of you.
For the 5 of
I
us.
see. Okay.
And the agents were also there because we had different agents.
Your Nairobi agents, as well as the folks on the other end,
Plus
and
the
the 5
5
of you are in this WhatsApp group.
Yes.
Okay.
So we send the pictures so they already know who they are receiving.
Okay.
So we were received and we spent a night in a very good hotel.
Okay. First night.
First night. We were carried in very good cars. Very nice ones. Something I've never seen here in Kenya.
Mama, I've made it.
Yeah, I've made it. This is the place I want to be.
I'm on air ride suspension.
Yeah. So we spent the night there. And after that, we couldn't transit now to the exact location we were going because we needed to have the small passport photos.
Right.
And we didn't have them. So they had to be sent now to these people. We don't know how. But the following day, upon arriving, there's, how do I call it?
Studio.
No, not a studio. The immigration center.
Okay.
Yes. Upon arriving there, that's where we needed the passport photos, and we didn't have them.
So like Nyayo House, but in this island.
Yes.
Okay. I'm just trying to connect because it seems like all very bizarre. But anyway, continue.
Yeah. So upon arriving there, we needed to have that. And the one who was taking us was also the translator.
Okay.
So we had to go back to accommodation, the place we slept. And later, 3 Kenyans were to join us. So we couldn't travel the following day because they had to be given some time to rest so that we can go now the following day. So for us, we spent 2 nights there. So for them, they only spent 1 night. So we went now to the immigration 8, being 8 Kenyans. And the 8 of us, we paid 1,000 baht
Oh, yeah, but the currency.
Yeah, the currency,
Yes,
yeah.
yes.
So 1,000 baht was paid, but not with the 1,000 D that we had. The one who was taking us through paid it. So we had now to cross the Mekong River, the famous Mekong River,
Yes.
with a boat. So us and the luggages on one speedboat. So we had our life jackets on, and we found ourselves now on the other side.
Can you swim? Okay. go
Even
on.
if I could swim, that river was too
Mekong
big.
River.
I could just drown. It was too big.
It's the
Okay.
12th longest river in the world, just so you know.
Just that I know.
Yeah.
Yes.
Bas.
Go ahead.
So, on arriving now in the Golden Triangle, that was our final destination.
The Golden Triangle.
Yes.
Okay.
So we went from Chiang Rai to Chiang Mai, now to Golden Triangle. So we arrived there. We were received by another lady, a Chinese nationality. She took us through now to the immigration now in the Golden Triangle, where we had the COVID tests, the HIV test done upon arrival before we enter to get now the visa.
Okay.
We were given now the visa for the Golden Triangle,
Okay.
which was a 1 month stay, and it was work prohibited. It was written there.
Okay. So at this point, there must have been some bells ringing in your head, Maureen.
Yeah,
Asking yourself a couple of questions.
exactly.
Who's this person who's paying this amount of money? Where are we going? That's obviously not Bangkok.
Yeah.
And now you've crossed the river, the 12th longest river in the world, on a boat where you had been told you were going to do a sales and marketing job, which for all intents and purposes, for most people, would have been in an office somewhere in a city.
Yeah.
I'm sure that was what was in your mind.
Yeah.
So now you cross the river, then you're asked to do a COVID and HIV test,
Yeah.
and then you are given a visa which is work prohibited. The reason why you left Kenya was to come and work.
Exactly.
Now you're given a visa for a month, which is work prohibited. What was going on in your head at that point? And did you ask questions amongst yourself? Because you're
Yes.
now 8 Kenyans.
Yes, we did.
Did you ask yourselves what you think might have been going on?
Yes, we did. Because the condition was upon arrival, we're going to get our work visa within the first week. So upon arrival, we've been given a visit visa instead of a work visa. So it's already written it's work prohibited. But when we inquired, we were told you must get this first. Then you transition now to the work visa. But now the worry was, before getting to the Golden Triangle, there was a very big rice plantation. So the question was, did we come to do sales and marketing for the rice company because that was the surrounding of where we were?
Sure.
Or is it something else? But we kept it quiet because we knew it's a specific company we're coming to work for. So it's not something that we should be worried about. We've already been received very well, and in each and every step, we have people along with us.
Something I want to find out. That $1,000, how exactly, what happened to it? After you got it.
We still had it, so we submitted it upon arrival now in the company where we stayed.
So the Ethiopian airline simply wanted to know you have $1,000.
Yes, you have.
Okay.
It was just
Yeah.
like a show money. You just show them, and that's it.
Okay. I've understood. Thank you. Go on.
So we were given now the prohibition of the work visa, and we were carried along now with the Chinese lady alongside, her being now our representative
Okay.
to the company.
Was she in this chat forum with you before?
She joined when we were in the accommodation center.
So she joined the WhatsApp
Yes.
group. All right, let's take a break at that point. From where we are, you've left Nairobi, you've paid 200,000 shillings, you've then gotten your passport back with a visa to go to Bangkok. You knew that you were going to do a sales and marketing job. You got the referral from a friend, and your agent was then, after 3 days, you got your $1,000, which Ethiopian Airlines required you to do. We're doing a step-by-step of this. You then get onto the plane. You then get to Bangkok, and rather in the plane, you realize that you have another boarding pass towards another country or another place, which is not Bangkok. You land in Bangkok, and then you find yourself in some swanky accommodation for 2 days. You then now move on boat to what you're calling the Golden Triangle. and you have a visiting visa, which is work prohibited, and you have now another woman who has joined the WhatsApp chat, and by now the bells are ringing very loudly in your head with 7 other Kenyans. This is what we're talking about this morning. Maureen tells us now next what happened when they've realized that we did not come to do a sales and marketing job. This is happening to many a Kenyan, and we're going to look into more of the details of this when we come back. It's 27 minutes to 10.
Every now and then, fake news might pull a few strings, but when it comes to reporting the facts, there's only one tune we dance to, our own. For more than 100 years, The Standard has delivered insightful, fact-based journalism. And you can't fake that.
Positive. It's your mother, Olivia Salvacion. Her remains are at the chief's house.
I just have one question. Do you have any particular message for the Fieros?
Everything's become clear now. You're what matters to me, and I'll do everything to protect our family.
I don't have a heart of stone, okay, Kiara? Which is why anytime you want to go visit him, I won't stop you.
Hey, stop! We have some questions for you! Positive, sir. We found Ivan Matias. Pops, run! Hurry! Freeze! Hands in the air!
So Vazi Maridadi is a versatile brand that deals with locally made designs, custom made actually, from crocheting to beadwork to suit making. When I was doing it, nikianza, I didn't start it like a career or like a passion. It was more of an escape. A friend of mine akakuja akaniambia, T, she calls me T, like, have you ever thought about monetizing this or taking your crochet work seriously? But then really, I was still not there yet because I was a model. I used to do modeling part-time.
So the next point is we are taken now to the final destination of where we will be working. So the lady who took us from the immigration center had a transport organized for us. So from there, it was like 1 hour drive to know the accommodation that we will be staying. And upon arrival, we had more Chinese people in the entry. So that was the first encounter of people looking at you in a very weird way.
What, did there weren't many Africans there?
There were not. Even in the immigration, people could just step aside and just look at you and stare at you.
So at this point, pretty much you're dealing with Chinese nationals and not Thai nationals.
Not Thai nationals. So we were given accommodation of, it was rooms actually, not like the previous one where we stayed in a hotel. This one was rooms with the bathroom area, and that's it.
A shared area for the bathroom?
Yes.
Okay.
So after that, now we had to be given a day rest. Then the following day, because we arrived at night, we would be spending the whole day asleep. Then we would join the rest of the team at night so that we can prep for work.
Which work?
They're already marketing now. Yeah, because now we still haven't realized it's not what we are going to do. Yeah.
Okay, so you knew you were getting up to work at night.
Yes.
Okay, so let's get to the point where you wake up at night.
So we wake up at night. We go to a company. It's like a studio, situated with computers, and everyone was on their computer. So we were given our own to set up. We had to make an arrangement of where we would be sitting, the team of 8 of us. Then from there, we set up the computer. You create now your own password, and you're given phone for working.
Okay.
Your personal phone, you have to leave it. You're not supposed to enter with it in your working area. So that's what happened the first day. We set up, we were given the phone, and there was nothing much for the first day. So after that, we were tested on our speed for typing. We were given, I think, 5 pages, which was so full. You type, and now our speed was being checked there. So it was okay. Up to there, it was okay. So we now came to where we were given more phones, and we now had to create Facebook accounts, Instagram, all social media platforms.
For whom?
What is the name of that island again?
Of the what?
The island you are now in.
A golden triangle.
Pole.
Yeah.
No, there's a specific island you said that you went to. The Golden Triangle is...
Laos.
You are now in Laos.
Yeah, we're now in Laos.
Good. Carry on.
Yeah. So we were given more phones.
You're setting up social media accounts.
Yes, social media accounts.
For whom?
For yourself.
Okay.
So after that, when we create now the social media accounts, that is what we could be using.
To do what?
We still don't know up to there.
Okay.
So after we create now, we are given some subtitles of what you're expected to write, what features to look for now. Because in the social media accounts now, you had to have a feminine character. So this feminine, you had to have specific features, specific height, nationality, and now after you're set, that is now when you're told these accounts, you have now to sell Bitcoin. You have already personificated yourself to a Russian nationality. That is you now. So you have now to sell Bitcoin to men.
You know, I really had to ask this. So now, what were you, Olga Kamau?
Sophia.
Marinovic.
Of course, there was no Marine in the picture. I had a Russian name.
Okay.
Yes.
Valentina, perhaps?
So there's a picture. There's a picture, or rather, you've created another character.
Yeah.
And you're selling.
Yes.
Okay.
So this character you're creating, actually you're stealing someone else's identity. That's
So
where
it's a human being. It's somebody else.
Yes.
It's not just like an avatar or something.
No.
Okay.
It's a human being, another person from Instagram, because that's where you get most photos of people. Yes.
Okay. So when were you... This became clear afterwards. How long afterwards? Because you've come here on the night, you've created your thing. How soon after did you realize that this is what you were going to be doing? That there was,
So
all this going on.
For 1 month, it was like a total confusion because you're creating account, you've already been given, so you re-create the account. You have like 2 Facebook, 3 Facebook, so one gets blocked. So the whole day you're trying now to get another one.
Okay.
So a whole month was like total waste of time. But before the 1 month end, we were sold to another company.
Okay.
Sorry.
We're transferred pretty much.
No.
Yes.
She's specific. Sold.
We were sold.
Okay.
Because we did not know of the initial plan to go to that other company. So upon arrival, everything changed. The salary that we knew from Kenya, this is what we're gonna receive. When reaching there, this is not what you're going to get.
Okay. For purposes of this confirmation or this
Conversation.
what were you told you were going to earn when you were leaving here?
100,000 plus
Per month.
per month.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So when we transited now to the other company, it was now coming to 6,000 yuan.
Which is what in Kenya shillings?
I can't remember. It was around 80 something.
Okay, so there was a reduction by about
Yes,
20,000.
there was a reduction.
Okay. So moving to this other company, did you still have your documents, passport, phone, all of that? Did you?
Our passports were already taken during this 1 month period just for accountability.
Okay.
And so that we could be given the work visa.
Okay.
So we didn't have our passport. So our transport was still facilitated to the other company.
Okay.
So upon arrival, it's a new residence and everything changed. What we had started learning in this company is not what we found there. It's a different strategy, but some of the features are the same.
Okay.
Where exactly was this company? Within Laos as well?
Yeah,
The new
it's still
company
in
now.
Laos. Yeah,
Okay.
it's still in Laos.
Okay. So you were aware. So I mean, you were aware that you were selling Bitcoin and that you had now taken over other personalities. Essentially, character theft was happening here. So you were selling, and the company was making money. Did you earn any salary at all?
No.
Nothing yet.
Nothing
When
yet.
did you realize that something had gone awry and that you needed to get out?
4 months down the line, we were still like arguing because we were to be given some payment, but in the new company, we were told things change. Salary, you're going to get it after 40 days. So in the first company, you'd already stayed for 20 days. So we needed to work an extra 20 days.
Okay.
So after 20 days, we get a reduction. What have you earned for the company? 0. So why are we paying
Going
you?
to pay you. Okay. How are you eating? Surviving in that sense.
So, whatever we were earning, we were told we're going to deduct your meal from there.
Okay.
The accommodation we're giving you.
Yeah.
So from there, the small token that you're going to get can only be substantial for you to buy your essential products. And that's it.
Okay. All right.
So here we talk about you're being paid in Thai currency.
No,
much.
in Chinese
In
yuan.
Chinese yuan.
Yeah,
Okay.
in Chinese
Because
yuan.
I'm looking at the yuan here, and you said 6,000. That's around 129,000 Kenya shillings.
Yeah, but it depends on the exchange rate that
Or
they
the
were
exchange
using.
rate
Yeah.
that you are using.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So here is a case where you've realized things have changed. The agreement in terms of your salary has changed. Have you tried to contact your agent at this point, telling them, "Oh yeah, boss, this is what we agreed upon. This is not what we are finding here. What's the deal?" You try communicating to them?
Yeah, we did. But they told us, you're still new. You don't know the game yet. So you already know in a new company. So try and learn what they're teaching you.
This is what the agent said.
Yes.
Okay.
Try and learn what you're being taught. Then from there, we can talk.
So your agent knew about you having been sold to a new company already?
Yeah, we already notified them.
All right. So 4 months down the line, that even at that 80,000 shillings had not been paid, and it was clear to you at this point what had happened, and you're still in the company of the other 7 Kenyans, you're still working on this job together. What now at that point, that 4 month mark, said this cannot continue? What did something happen differently for what you've been doing for 4 months?
Yeah, because it was a struggle for us every time to get an extension of stay.
Okay.
Because now we realized we are not getting the work visa. But there was an option of getting an extension of visa for 1 month.
Okay.
So before we get this extension, it was a very big struggle with the Chinese.
Did you raise a flag when you realized that you were stealing people's personalities and that you were trading? Did you realize that did you realize that whatever was happening was wrong?
Yes, in the new company,
And did you
we
raise the
realized,
flag?
Yeah, we realized this is different from the first thing. The first thing, at least you were convincing someone to buy the Bitcoin. But in this one, you're defrauding them. So it's either they invest or you're losing.
So in the first one, you are actually selling.
Yes. You're marketing the Bitcoin currency.
That is what you are doing.
Yes.
Did any of you ever make any money?
No. It wasn't easy.
Okay. And this other second one, when you say you are not selling, what were you doing then?
We were now, because now it's clear the character personification that we had and what we are doing. There's a difference.
Okay.
Yes.
So it was clear that was fraud that was happening.
Yes.
You knew that they were breaking some law at
Yes.
some point, whether it was under duress or otherwise. You knew that there was something wrong here.
Yes.
So what happened for you to break away from this at this point, and against whom was any kind of action to be taken?
So we had a team leader, a Chinese team leader, who was in charge of us. So I was in charge of the 8 Kenyans. So I had to tell them this. Everybody was not comfortable. So we agreed we are bailing out from going to work because now it's the only option that is left of us, because the minute we tell them we don't want to work, We had discussion, an open discussion. Why don't you want to work? If you don't want to work, you have to pay back as 3 million. We catered for you 3 million for you people to come and work here.
Okay.
So for us, we told them we cannot pay back the 3 million. This is what I've paid my agents. And they're telling us, no, we paid for you people to come and work. So you have to produce the 3 million or else you're going to stay. That's what took us all this long, because we were still trying to find a way on how we're going to come out of this place.
Okay. So
Yes.
how did you get out?
So we had, during the meals, we encountered some Ugandans. So we told them, this is what is happening where we are. They told us the same thing is happening to where we are, but we have managed to bail out. We are just in the accommodation places, but you're not going to the company. So how did you manage to come out of that place? What about your passport? Do you have them? What's the plan? Do you know how we can come from here to go back home? So they told us, the good thing, there's a Kenyan embassy back in Thailand. We can try to reach them. So we told them we cannot do it directly because our phones were being searched throughout the whole time, before sleeping and in the morning, after arriving in the working area.
Okay.
So they made the contact call on our behalf. But we had to do it in secret without making them realize something is off.
Okay.
So we had now to go back to work for that time as we wait now for the Kenyan embassy to respond.
Okay.
So that we can know we're already now in safe hands. Even if we bail out, they already know of our location where we are.
Sure.
So that's how we were able now to contact.
And did they get in touch with you?
Yes.
Okay.
So one of us had to take an extra slot of SIM cards and use it now on a different phone that they don't know.
Okay.
So that's how we could communicate, but no communication was to be left on that phone or SIM card. Yes.
Okay. So, I mean, we're just going to, fast forward. Kenya Embassy, right, in Bangkok gets in touch with you. Then you're able to then, all of you, get back to Nairobi?
Yes.
Okay.
So, but we stayed for a whole month before
that happened.
Before that happened.
Okay.
Because we had to be taken to now the police custody. By the company took us now directly because we have already bailed out. They have our passport. They
You
have
confronted them,
yes,
of course.
we confronted them. They have to give us our passport back. We want to go home. So we stayed for 1 month in the accommodation before, because they submitted our passport. We realized we don't have the visa for that month that we have already stayed. So if we leave this place, that means we're going to have an overstay. And if they take us to the police station, we don't have anyone who is going to translate the language for us.
Yeah.
So that means you're going to be put into book. So we return our passport to them. Give us now the visa that we have stayed here. So afterwards, they gave us and they took us now to the police station.
Okay.
From there now, the government took over.
Okay. Were you ever tortured, ever beaten, ever, maltreated in that sense, physically?
Physically, no.
Okay.
For us Kenyans, no. But the Chinese, it used to happen. But for us, we used to have that fear because every time we were told, look at what is happening. If you don't do what we want, you are the next in line.
Okay.
So the Chinese were beating their own pretty much during that.
Yes.
So as we have this discussion, pretty much, the Ugandans have helped you access. They equally have a problem. By any chance, you know what happened to them? Did you leave them there?
No, we went along with them.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Okay.
So then it became clear to you, or was it clear to you that whatever happened on this other side then was known before you even left Kenya? Did you think that the agents here knew exactly what was going to happen when you went on the other side?
Yes, when we went on the other side, because we could not facilitate for air ticket, we had to tell now the agency to pay for us the air ticket because we had a return flight of which we had not cancelled it ourselves. So we contacted the agency because we have already bailed out from work. The return ticket that we had from leaving Kenya, it's still valid because we did not cancel it.
Yeah.
So the agency told us, you have to sort yourself out.
So they knew?
Yes. So
Okay.
it took another twist.
Even
from
trying
there.
to come back.
Yes, even trying to come back.
So, Rosalind Jogu, who is the Principal Secretary in State Department of Diaspora Affairs, is going to be with us tomorrow to be looking at some of these issues. And we're going to be talking about this being one of them in terms of what kind of interventions are taking place. And so for us to hear that. But I say this because you're not the only ones who've been through a situation like this. Even today, there are people who are flying out of this country who will go. I mean, it's that flight. That flight leaves at noon. There are people who are at the airport right now who are waiting for that flight, who are going to do this as well and have no idea. But is it clear that there are more and more and more and more people who are getting into this, what I want to call a trap, and they don't know? Because I remember that one of the things that you said is it was greener pastures. It was a better job. It was better pay. I'd never traveled before, so I had no reason to doubt. Many questions are, did you do your research? Did you even imagine that with all the things that we hear, this could possibly be something that would go wrong?
At first, before we left here, there was no like any social media platform that had already given people awareness that this is what is happening in Thailand. In Saudi Arabia, people have that knowledge. But in Thailand, there was no case that I had before. So, but after now our incidents, that is when now it was brought to light. But it's unfortunate because people are still going there. Yes.
So, Maureen, what would you have done differently?
I think I would have checked if I got a work contract from here. That one would have given me a biding of knowing the exact place where I'm going to. If I had booked the airline myself, I could have still known I got a transit to another place, of which you don't know. That's one thing. Because the agency tell you they're going to do everything for you.
Okay.
So even if you get an itinerary of the 5 of you, the 8 or the 10 of you, you still get your names and just showing you the airline and the time. So some things are still anonymous.
Okay. So when did you come back to Nairobi? When did you come back to Kenya?
I came back on November
last year.
No, not last year. 2022.
Oh, so this is a while ago. So this is a story that we're
Yes.
talking about for a couple of years. And this is clearly still going on in 2025.
Yeah.
Now, when you came back, did you get in touch with the agency? Go to their office? Look for somebody who had talked to you before? Take any kind of action against?
So upon arriving, because we were helped by the government to secure the tickets, so we had now to write a report to the DCI officers, and now the agent was put into book. The case is still ongoing till
The agent was arrested?
Yes, the agent was arrested.
Okay.
But he's still out there, but still going to court.
He's still in
Because
court, but he's still operating his business.
I don't know if he's still operating the business, but he's out there. Yes, but the case is ongoing.
Did you ever earn any money?
No.
So how long were you in
Laos.
Laos?
And Laos was there for 5 months.
Right.
Crazy. All right. What would you tell? Because, like I say, I mean, I told my brothers here last week that, you know, when I was taking my mom to the airport, I saw the people who are leaving every day. There are people who are leaving every single day. What would you say to them? What are things to watch out for some people who are very desperate, Maureen? Desperate today because the job situation is bad. They are not able to. And that is the option that they'll say something like that comes along. They'll scramble and look for the 200K, 100K, whatever it may be, 50,000 to be able to get a job. What would you say to them today?
I'll tell them when the deal is too good, first think twice. Do your research. If you don't get a work visa from here, or you're not given a work contract directly from here, Kenya, to where you're going,
Don't.
please don't.